Welcome, everyone, to the Monday edition of Fair Territory. I'm Ken Rosenthal here with you for the next, 25 minutes or so. We have a lot to talk about after an interesting weekend of baseball with many interesting weekends ahead. The first thing to talk about, of course, is the Dodgers-Padres series. A surprising outcome to many of us, given the way the Padres were playing so well going into that series and given that the Dodgers have not really reached a peak all season. Well, all of that changed over the weekend at Dodger Stadium. What happened? The Dodgers swept the Padres, regained the lead in the NL West, now lead by 2 games. And let's go through the 3 games a little bit before I mention some Padres concerns that kind of were amplified by this series. Okay, Friday night, Clayton Kershaw, brilliant against the Padres, and 6 innings, 1 run. That was on a night when the Padres had to throw a bullpen game with Michael King going on the injured list. Saturday, Dylan Cease, who has had an inconsistent season, was inconsistent again. 6 walks in 3 1/3 innings. The Dodgers, for whatever reason, had Cease's, head in a bad place, and they did a really good job against him. Also in this game, Blake Snell, 6 innings, scoreless. It was the second half Blake Snell that we're accustomed to seeing. And Will Smith, the catcher for the Dodgers, threw out 3 base runners, 3 attempted stealers in the first 2 innings. And then finally Sunday, you saw that game. Darvish was just okay. Not even that for the Padres. Glasnow was decent, 5 innings for the Dodgers. Mookie Betts with the go-ahead homer in the 8th inning, and the Dodgers bullpen bent but didn't break to complete the sweep. So you have in this series Manny Machado going 1 for 12, Xander Bogaerts 1 for 11, Jake Cronenworth 0 for 7. Tatis struck out a number of times. Okay, the Padres offense has been a question at various points this season, but one question that has arisen with them with regard to their offense is their surprising lack of power. It seems only to be coming from Ramon Laureano right now, their new trade deadline acquisition. That's an exaggeration, but Laureano is the one guy who went deep in this series for the Padres. Actually, they had a couple of other homers as well, but they are not hitting home runs, and I want to show you where they rank among the league leaders in this regard, because this is a telling graphic that we're about to show you. Home runs for the season. The Yankees are number 1, 195. Dodgers number 2, 185. The Padres are 29th at 105, 29th. And the Pirates, of course, next at 88. They are last in the majors. So the Padres offense is a concern, and it has been a concern. And obviously the Dodgers pitching is getting healthier. We're going to see Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates and Michael Kopech before the end of the month, most likely. So the Dodgers look like, again, they've taken command. We'll see exactly how this fares out next weekend in San Diego. But right now, the Dodgers again have the lead. And there are 2 other things with the Padres that kind of bothered me a little bit just watching the games. Starting pitching. Now, it's been an issue kind of at various points this season. They traded 2 of their starters to Kansas City to make room for Michael King coming back and to do some other things, of course, to get Freddie Fermin. Nick Pivetta at the top, he's been really good. Cease should be at the top. He's been inconsistent, as I mentioned. King's injury, this left knee inflammation, not expected to keep him out long. And then Yu Darvish really has not been good for the most part at all. He's got about a 6 ERA since coming off the injured list. So that's a concern. And you might say, Ken, does it matter in the postseason because the Padres bullpen is so good. They're going to shorten games and they can just get a couple of innings out of their starters and go from there. Well, there's a concern there as well. And the concern there is that the Padres bullpen has 3 relievers in the top 9 in appearances. Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada, and Adrian Morejon. Those 3 guys, again, top 9 in appearances in the majors. And the concern obviously would be that 1 or more of them wear down by the postseason. Now you might say, well, the Padres still have Mason Miller and Robert Suarez and others. Yes, true. But the bullpen is their linchpin. It's what they will use to, yes, shorten games and win games. If it's not exactly right after a starting rotation that is not exactly right, then you have a problem. Tatis is another question. No home runs in his last 97 plate appearances. That's the longest stretch of his career. But I would expect that when the lights come on in the playoffs, Tatis will be Tatis again, even though he has had somewhat of a rocky season. So the Dodgers again look in command of this division. They play again next weekend in San Diego, much different environment. We'll see what happens then. Okay, manager Dave Roberts from the Dodgers joins Alana Rizzo and Clint Pasillas on Dodgers territory today at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, right after Foul Territory. Tune in, subscribe on YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast to the entire Foul Territory network. Also this weekend, a couple of disturbing injuries came to light. The biggest one is Zach Wheeler, and this one is a troubling one, not just from a baseball perspective, but from a life perspective. A blood clot near his right shoulder. We don't know more about that yet. They're going to get more information as this week goes on. He's going for more testing today. Obviously, a blood clot is always serious. That's the biggest thing with Zach Wheeler. The question now is, one, getting him healthy, and of course, two, what does it mean for the Phillies going forward? It certainly appears that Zach Wheeler will be out for the regular season and possibly the postseason as well. We don't know that for a fact yet, but the Phillies' rotation without him, well, it's simply not the same. It's really good, but Zach Wheeler was a Cy Young candidate, was brilliant in the first half, probably should have started the All-Star game, but even then he was having some physical issues that he was worried about, and that's one reason he bowed out of the game. So let's look at that Phillies rotation without Wheeler, because as I said, it's still good. It's just not quite the same. Christopher Sanchez, brilliant season. He is at the top of this thing, 2.45 ERA. Ranger Suarez at 3.28. Taijuan Walker, who's having a resurgence, 3.34. Jesus Luzardo and Aaron Nola, who came off the injured list yesterday after about a 3-month absence, wasn't good against the Nationals. Wasn't good before he got hurt either. You see the ERA there, 6.92. So we're going to have to see what kind of contribution Nola can make, if any, to this team in the postseason. And you saw also at the bottom of that graphic, Andrew Painter. He is the great Phillies pitching prospect, but while he was expected to be a contributor in the second half, as you saw, 5.15 ERA at AAA, 9.45 in August. So Painter still has some things to work out in the minors. He is not yet ready for the majors. So that's the Phillies. The other disturbing injury, clearly, is Zach Hader, left shoulder capsule sprain, and that one will keep him out at least 3 weeks. He's not going to throw. He believes he will be out for the rest of the regular season. Did not rule out the postseason, but I would say the chances are slim that we're going to see him again this year. If we do, bonus for the Astros. And what's interesting about the Astros, besides what's happened to their bullpen, in which everyone has to move up a rung, right? Brian Abreu, Bennett Sousa, all of these guys will now pitch in a later role. The depth is not the same as it was with Hader, the most dynamic reliever in the sport, or at least one of them. The Astros aren't playing well. They're 7-8 since the deadline when they acquired Carlos Correa. They're 14-20 since July 6th. And in this 6-game homestand they just completed against the Red Sox and Orioles, they were outscored 44-17, shut out twice by the Orioles, nearly no hit on Friday night. If ever there was an opportunity for the Mariners to grab this thing, it's right now. Now, Yordan Alvarez is on a rehabilitation assignment for the Astros. He's coming back. That's going to be a huge boost for Houston. But at the same time, no Josh Hader, a team that has been decimated by injuries all year, Houston I'm talking about, and a team that, again, is wobbling. It's the time right now for the Mariners to step forward and do something. All right, finally this weekend, I want to talk about the Yankees series. I was there Saturday for the Fox broadcast with A.J. Brzezinski. He actually let me talk. Yes, it was great. A.J., Adam Wainwright, Adam Amin. That was a bit of a wild game. 12-8, I believe, was the final score. The Yankees end up sweeping the Cardinals, and the Guardians have lost 4 of 5. So if you look at the American League wildcard standings, the panic that was perhaps setting in for the Yankees and their fans about a week ago has been, let's say, diminished. The Yankees now have, again, a 3.5-game lead in the wildcard standings. It's pretty comfortable. You see it right there. Yankees at 67-57. Guardians have lost 4 of 5. They've fallen back. The Royals are still there. 4 games back. I don't expect either of those teams to mount a serious challenge for a couple of reasons. One is the Yankees' schedule. Now, we saw in the last week, they played 5 of 6 games against the Twins. 6 games against the Twins and Cardinals and won 5 of them. 5-1 against the Twins and Cardinals. The Twins, a team that traded 10 players at the deadline. The Cardinals, a team that traded their top 3 relievers and spent the weekend playing without 2 of their best position players, Brandon Donovan and Wilson Contreras. Clearly, this has an effect on the quality of competition. And the Yankees, yes, they played better. And Anthony Volpe playing much better in the field, doing some good things there. They still have a lot of questions. Max Fried does not look great. Their bullpen still has to be sorted out. And when will Aaron Judge play the field? All of these questions still are there for the Yankees. But that schedule is going to be their saving grace. It is the easiest remaining schedule in the majors, according to Fangraphs. They go to Tampa Bay next for a series that begins tonight. And then they have Boston at home for 4. I'll be there Thursday night for Fox. That's going to be a big series for the Yankees. But again, the rest of their schedule, not too bad. After the Red Sox series, they play the White Sox. So the Yankees looking better, breathing again. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out for them. And we'll be back right after this with the Inside Dish.